Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Yesterday was a very busy day at the Laundrie's house in Northport, Florida. Dog the Bounty Hunter, which I shared yesterday, showed up at their house unannounced with media surrounding the home. He went up to the house, he knocked on the door, and when no one went to the door, basically, he got back in his car and left. This created quite the frenzy outside of their home. Now, during that same time of when he was there, apparently on the inside of the house, Roberta Laundrie was actually calling for assistance from authorities. Yep, you heard that correctly. Roberta Laundrie contacted and called 911 when dog Duane Chapman was knocking on her door outside their home. This was caught on a police scanner, which we obtained through Broadcastify's archives. There was a call made right when he was at the door, and the dispatchers said that there was someone yelling and screaming outside of the home, and then he went into the street, which is exactly what happened. Then a follow-up call discussed how Roberta, at the home of that call, had contacted about a man outside of their home.
On Williams 3 reference a male outside yelling and screaming in the street. While on the line with the complainant, the male stopped screaming, but he's somewhere in the area.
97, 1024.
10-4 to 714, the female Roberta from that 1020 called it on 911.
What's address?
The address of the call, 4343.
Apple.
Whenever it's in North Broward was landline, what was that traffic?
We just had the female from that 1020 call in on 911, reference the situation with the male.
Alright, 10-4. Yeah, it's, once you arrive or if you're already there, and the occupants are requesting us to come up, just go ahead and go to the house and assist, and just to keep the peace. But if they're not requesting us to come up, then just stay back and make sure that everything's good.
10-4, he's clear.
Alright, 10-4, the main subject has already cleared the scene.
10-4.
Alright, 10-4, just go ahead and make contact with the complainant then.
After Duane actually left the front of the house, he walked down the driveway, and a slew of reporters were watching him and filming him, including someone that he was with. And they asked him why he was there, to which Duane said they should know why he was there. He does catch fugitives. And then he told people that he is taking tips. He provided a phone number for the tip line, and then he got in his car and drove a little bit down the street. The interesting thing I thought was that once he drove down the street and had cleared the scene, Northport police actually walked up onto the Laundrie's driveway. Clearly, they have police monitoring their house or outside of their home. A lot of people have been talking about how there appears to be unmarked FBI cars surveilling the home at all times. So it's interesting to me that Roberta would call 911 in this event, considering she has all kinds of help from local authorities at her disposal. Instead of going to the front door, she literally called 911. Online, after this all took over on Twitter, on Facebook, reactions were mixed to whether or not it was cool for Duane to stop by at the house. Whether or not you like Duane or hate Duane or you're not a fan of his personal drama, he does have success rates in capturing people that are wanted. Now, he then had an interview with Fox News, and during that interview, Duane basically said that he went up to the front door because he wanted to have a heart-to-heart talk with Christopher Laundrie, Brian's father. He wanted to talk with him about his son. He wanted to try to persuade him to, it's time to give up the charade. It's time to do the right thing. And really impressed upon the fact that this would be a good time to work with people to find Brian so something terrible doesn't happen to Brian. The goal is to bring Brian home alive. He also mentioned that Brian is likely a fan of his, which is unclear, and he said that most people would know who he is, so he has a great reputation and people know that he will give second chances. Then, in that same interview with Fox News, he discussed how there's an unlikeliness that he's actually in the swamp, and he thinks, based on statements made by Gabby Petito's friend Rose, that it's more probable that Brian Laundrie, is actually in the woods on the Appalachian Trail. This is a place where Rose said that he traveled and spent 3 months on alone. She recalled that Brian and Gabby both talked about this time where he went out on the Appalachian Trail. He said that he didn't believe there would be any likelihood that he would be in Mexico due to that there's a bounty now for the capture of Brian. And he discussed that he could be in Canada, though it's unclear how he would get there. He said it seems more likely that they would be on the Appalachian Trail. This has been something that a lot of people have suggested. Northport really did scale back their searches yesterday. They said that they were doing more localized searching for Brian. That meant they were looking more targeted areas like ponds and areas that couldn't be done as effectively with large groups. So with the search wrapping up in Carlton Reserve, the question remains is, where is Brian Laundrie? Did he in fact go into Carlton Reserve, or did he go up on the Appalachian Trail? A neighbor in the area told Fox News last week that he saw Brian Laundrie and his parents prepare for a camping trip. On the camping trip, they said they left for about 3 days. Brian was helping his dad prepare a camper that was attached to Brian's dad's pickup, and that he thought it was odd that Brian went with him in this camper. And then the neighbor said that he did not see Brian after the camping trip. He had been seen by neighbors mowing the lawn, going on bike rides, and helping his dad in the garage. Because police never actually saw Brian on September 11th, when the missing report was finally obtained in Suffolk County in New York, Northport police did follow up on the report, and they never actually made contact with Brian. In fact, Josh Taylor, the PIO for Northport, the spokesperson, said on September 13th that when they tried to make contact with Brian, his parents gave him a card, or they were given a card for an attorney, and they said that Brian was not speaking to anyone. They never actually physically saw Brian. On September 16th, though, the chief of police said they knew where Brian was. And then only a few days later, his parents reported him missing after more than 3 days that they claimed that he was on his own. The lawyer for the family, Stephen Bertolino, he stated that he was concerned for Brian's safety because Brian left without his wallet or his phone. Experts who know a lot about fugitives say it's not uncommon for a fugitive going on the run to ditch money, wallets, and also cell phones, because cell phones can ping on cell phone towers. Many have suggested that if he is on the run, he would likely have a burner phone, which would not be easily traced by authorities. With that said, today is Gabrielle Petito's memorial. Northport is currently getting ready to say goodbye to Gabby Petito. Individuals within town and businesses have been placing teal ribbons around Northport in memory of Gabby. The funeral home in the area as well has placed bows for Gabby on their front, and the memorial is from 12 to 5 p.m. There is a service, I believe, from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is being live streamed. As the family prepares to say goodbye to Gabby, there are still so many questions that remain about what happened to Brian Laundrie and if he will ever be caught. There have been multiple people online that have put out money. At some point yesterday, people were saying there had been more than $140,000 of money put into a pot for Brian's capture or any information on finding Brian. So, with a lot of money available to someone to call, there are multiple people on the case. Dog the bounty hunter, John Walsh, the FBI. You've got a lot of people looking for him, and with this arrest warrant, this means that his parents can no longer obstruct justice by aiding and abetting him on the run. They can be arrested for accessory after the fact, aiding and abetting, obstruction of justice. They could also potentially be subpoenaed to sit before a grand jury and testify about what they know. At this point, they're still not talking. Their attorney has not said anything. And a lot of people are saying, hey, Brian, Roberta, and Christopher, if your son is missing, why aren't you pleading with the media that's right outside your door to help you find your son? Why aren't you helping find your son? Is he missing or is he hiding? And their lack of communication with the public makes the public feel like they're hiding something. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, today we prepare to say goodbye to Gabby Petito. And we hope that there will finally be answers for her family on where Brian is, what happened to her, and that we finally get justice for Gabby. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye.